Hi, my name is Jesse Durham, and today we're going to cover another installment of our quotes series, and we're going to go directly to the source. We're going to cover some quotes from Nelson Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker. Here's a great quote about interest rates. Nelson said that interest rates go up and interest rates go down, but the process of banking continues no matter what. Now, I can tell you that even in the infinite banking circle, I've heard examples of people still pursuing commercial or conventional car notes, for example. Folks who actively practice the infinite banking concept, as far as I'm aware, and yet because of a better interest rate, a 0%, a 1%, whatever the case may be, interest rate, they would still conventionally finance, let's say, a vehicle. And I understand that if you have the cash on hand that could pay that liability off, if you so chose, I understand that. There's obviously a numbers game there. But what I would also argue is that it goes against what Nelson told us when he said, don't do business with banks. When we do business with banks or any third party that we don't own and control, we are beholden to that entity and not beholden to ourselves. We've given over, we're beholden to them. We are liable. And again, if we'll recognize that his first several chapters in his book are about the human problem, it's not a problem of numbers. We will get to that. And numbers don't lie. I understand that. A lower interest rates may be better than a higher one unless you're the banker. And then you can't pay yourself too much interest. You can't have too great of a death benefit. You can't have too great of an access to capital. You can't have too great of a functioning and growing and expanding system when you own it and control it. That's all I'm saying. So regardless, for those practicing already the infinite banking concept or not yet and looking at it and vetting the idea, banking occurs always on weekends, on holidays, when the markets are closed, with government shut, whatever the case may be, the banking process is occurring regardless. It's better to be the owner. This is a great quote from Nash, and I love being upfront with this one. He said, and I agree wholeheartedly, he said that it's not a way, the infinite banking concept is not a way to get rich quick. On the contrary, it takes long-range planning, long-range thinking, long-range activity. Now, that's not to say that you can't immediately begin practicing the infinite banking concept, because you can, and I would encourage you to. There's just something about when you've written a check to fund a policy that you want to control, and then you make your first policy loan for something, being an honest banker for something, where you've paid yourself first, you pay yourself with interest, you recapture that money, and you're growing and you're going in your system. There's something to be said about writing that check, making that policy loan, practicing the infinite banking concept in some part of your financial footprint, and then expanding that and expanding that and expanding that, expanding your system and expanding the practice of you becoming your own banker. So it's not get rich quick. Nelson, again, very open, very upfront. It's a staple, it's a fundamental truth that we can't be afraid to capitalize our system. And he goes through the whole process of conventional banks, commercial banks, what that process looks like, the ridiculous amount of money and time that it takes to start that process there, and how here there are already tools accessible to us, a whole life policy, okay, with a mutual company that's going to be properly structured for the banking purpose. It pays a dividend. There are already these entities and insurance companies and tools that we can own and access, but it's going to be over the long range. Nelson also in his book said that it could take an average of 14 or 20 years. I've read and seen and heard him say both those numbers for the average bear to be able to get their premiums equal to their income or their income equal to their premiums. To have those numbers be the same and everything that they do in life be privately financed through their infinite banking system. It can take that time. And I know that in my own experience that, sure, piece by piece, we would use our system of policies to pay off student loan debt, to pay off credit card debt that we had drug into our lives before we even started the infinite banking concept. Doing things like paying off debts or like financing vacations, whatever the case may be, business ventures. I found that to be the case in my own experience as well, that we get better as we go. We can do things faster as we go, but you've got to start somewhere. And when you do start, you've got to have the long range in mind. We've got the saying of Rome wasn't built in a day, so there's a quote on a quote, and I hope that's helpful to you. Now, I hope that this installment of the quote series has been helpful to you. Again, I would love to see and hear from you about what quotes impact your philosophy, what quotes guide you and how you do different things. So if you've got a recommendation or a suggestion, please email or call or send a text message letting us know. And again, to be able to set up a webinar or a coffee meeting, I'd love to be able to meet for coffee if you're local, but a webinar at the least, of course, to be able to discuss how you can begin to practice the infinite banking concept for yourself or grow and expand what you're already doing. You can reach me at 828-817-4223, or you can email durhamtalents@gmail.com. I hope this has been helpful. I've had a lot of fun being able to share this series of quotes with you. Look forward to the next installment, the next video, and our next conversation. Have a great day. Thank you.